In today's Sharp Saturday video, which is the final Sharp Saturday video of 2025, I thought it might be interesting to take kind of a look back at 12 of my favorite knives that we've looked at on the channel here in 2025, from moderately priced to not so moderately priced. And I'll try to give you, at least as best I can, my absolute favorite one or two at the end of the video. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video, where it's Saturday and we take a look at something sharp. And like I said, today we're going to take a look at 12 somethings sharp that are 12 of my favorite knives that we have looked at the channel here in 2025. And we're going to, in no particular order, we're just going to take a look at them. Although I will tell you that I saved kind of my three top favorites for the very end. Oh, and I'll also tell you, by the way, that you may encounter a little rambling in today's video. It's the last Sharp Saturday of the year, so humor me, please. So first, we're going to go ahead and start the rambling now. So a few months ago, I don't know how many, towards maybe 7-8 months ago, or maybe longer, I decided I'm going to start reading a Bible verse at the beginning of every video. Trying to get some wisdom out there. I read every day. I read a Proverbs, because there's 31 Proverbs and 30 to 31 days in the month, so one a day seems to fit, right? So, and there's a lot of wisdom in that book there. So I decided I'm just going to try to share some of that, and maybe some other verses from other places. And it's been received pretty well overall, but there's always a few, right? And like just today, literally today, I got 2 comments from 2 different people on 2 different videos from several months ago. The first one said they were doing fine. They clicked off when they started pushing that religious nonsense. And actually, the verse that I was quoting in that particular video was from Proverbs, and there wasn't anything nonsensical about it. There wasn't anything religious about it. It just said something about when there's moral right within a nation falls, but you need good and knowledgeable leaders, you succeed. Thought that seems like just common sense to me, not nonsense. But anyway, and then the other one, who knows what it was about, but it wasn't a religious verse either. It didn't say anything about God or Jesus. And I just realized that it's very, very interesting to me that if I said these are quotes from whoever, let's say from the great Stoic or Marcus Aurelius or something like that, probably wouldn't get any complaints. But if I said the same exact words and I just happened to say they're from the Bible, they'd probably complain. Actually, I could probably put a Stoic quote and say it's from the Bible, and they'd complain about that. So anyway, it's interesting to me that why people have such a problem with a book that is inarguably, indisputably the most famous, most popular, most total printed book in the entire world in history. So there we go. Now, we're gonna go today's verse. I'm sorry. So today's wisdom is from Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, in the NLT version of the Bible. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. That doesn't seem like nonsense to me. Okay. And something else we're going to have been doing and are going to continue to do is say a big thank you to my friends at XS Sites for being a channel sponsor at Survival on Purpose. I've told you this already before. Literally for years, I was a paying XS Sites customer and user before they approached me and said, hey, would you let us sponsor your channel, be one of your channel sponsors? And since I literally trust my life to their products every day, the Glock 19 I have on my hip right now has XS big dot sights on it. I can very happily endorse and recommend them because literally I trust my life to them. For me, the XS big dot is like an analog red dot. If you're wearing like progressive lenses like I am, you got a couple years on you, you're doing this, you know the struggle, right? If you get yourself a set of XS big dots, you're going to be amazed at the difference, how quickly you can get on target. I'll quit rambling. I've got videos about their accuracy and about passing law enforcement qualification courses with big dots and stuff. You can look at those on the channel. They're easy to find. XS Sites are made in the USA, and if you go to their website and use the code SOP15, you will be glad you did. So thanks again to XS Sites for sponsoring today's video. All right, that took a little longer than I meant to, but we're going to get to business now here with as minimal rambling as I can. Man, I've been doing this since 2013. You'd think I'd be better at it. Okay, so the first knife we're going to look at today is a knife I got just because I thought it was cool, for no other reason. And I'm talking about the Buckmaster 2.0, which is the 2023 limited edition version of their kind of update to the Buckmaster 184 from the 80s, which I have a couple of, and I've done a video on that last year, I think, a couple years ago. And by the way, I'll put links to these videos in the description below, and I'll put some links up here as we go for some of them. Anyway, that's number one. And I think that's the most expensive knife, by the way. We started with the most expensive, so it can't go up from here. But it's going to go down and around, because we got some lower budget knives in the mix and some not so low budget knives, like I said. So that's the first one we'll look at. Number two is actually a twofer, so you get 2 for 1 on this one. And you also get a little bit of rambling, because Christmas of 2024, I was with my nephew, who was in the U.S. Marine Corps. He's a Marine Corps veteran, and he started collecting military knives, and so he was showing me all the stuff. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's got a whole big box full of them. He's telling me, I mean, he's down in the weeds. You know what I mean? He knows all the details and this and that. So I don't, but I saw a couple I really liked, so I got on eBay and I bought a couple of them. And I found them. So this one was one. This is the Mark III MK3 Mod 0, and this was a U.S. Navy, I think it was issued knife. You have to watch the video. There'll be a link here. I got more details now. I don't remember them all, but I'm not going to say it was a Navy SEAL knife, but it was definitely issued in the Navy and with a matching sheath. And I paid $13 for that. So I just thought it was pretty cool. This one is the PAL 6, I'm sorry, and this one might have been in World War II. This one probably not. These were around the 80s, I think, or stopped around the 80s. But this one is certainly 2000. I mean, World War II vintage for sure. And according to my nephew, the red liners are a big deal, are highly sought after. This one has got a pretty good edge on it, and it looks like it's been sharpened. So, and then I don't know. You know, to me, I just thought it was really cool just to imagine it. Possibly, this knife could have been on Iwo Jima. Could have been at D-Day. Or, to be fair, it could have been laying around a quartermaster warehouse for 50 years, so before somebody bought it. So I don't know. And according to my nephew, this is an original sheath. It may not be the original sheath, but it's an original, accurate sheath. So I guess that's a big deal too if you're collecting. I'm not a collector, but like I said, he looked at it and said, "Yeah, that was good. I got a good deal on it." So, and I paid $143 for it. So there's that. Whew, I'm sorry, it's taking a while, isn't it? So that's number two. I'll try to minimize rambling. Number three is not an old knife. It's a pretty new design, but it's from one of my favorite knife companies, the folks at Spyderco Knives. And I'm talking about the Endura 4 Emerson opener. And this thing is made in Japan. It retails for like $115, and it's got a back lock. It's got the Emerson wave on it. They licensed this. They didn't rip it off like so many people do. So I'm sure Emerson gets a little money every time they do this or something. But it's got that hook right there, and that allows you to show you. When you put it out of your pocket, it hook that little hook and opens it up. So I think that's pretty cool. Spyderco and Emerson are both two of my favorite knife companies, and when I saw there was a collaboration between them, or at least that Spyderco had licensed one of Emerson's, my favorite Emerson feature, you know, I like that. So I had to choose that one. So that's number three. Number four is another twofer, and these are two knives with the same design. They just have different blade shapes, and I'm talking about the Emerson Free Rain. And this is, I'll show you this one first. This is the Tonto version, and I think I called this in the video my favorite Tonto knife ever. This design on this thing is just absolutely perfect. The handle is perfect. The blade is strong. It's got a sharp spine. It's got exposed tang on the very butt. Man, it's just super comfortable. Got a really nice sheath. This inside part of the sheath is softer material that won't lose your edge, and then the outer part is strong. That's the Tonto, and then I'll show you this one second because it's prettier. It's blue. This is the drop point version. Same handle, same everything, just a different blade style. and both exceptional knives. I looked at several Demko knives, and these are like two of the favorite ones I've ever looked at. They came razor sharp out of the box, like everything I've looked at from Demko, and they're just high quality in both the manufacture and the design. So that's the Demko Free Rain. They retail for around 90 bucks. So that is number 4. Number 5 is a knife that I paid 44 bucks for, okay? But it's nothing fancy. But it's a classic that I remembered from my childhood. I'm talking about the venerable case Sodbuster. Like, this was just a classic old school pocket knife, and I do mean pocket knife. There's no clip here, there's no lock here, there's no sheath here, although I know people used to carry them in belt sheaths, belt cases, but yeah, there you go. Belt pouches maybe. It wasn't razor sharp from the factory. I was a little disappointed in that, but it's the classic, and this is the color I remembered. I don't know why they have all different color handles, but that's the case Sodbuster, one of my favorite ones I've looked at this year. I can't believe I waited this many decades to get one. Next, after that, number 6 is another knife under 50 bucks that I really like. I believe this is a Joe Flowers design. It's the Condor Trog. This is a same handle like as a pterosaur, kind of rubbery handle. I don't know what it's made out of. It's some plasticky, rubbery thing. And then the blade is kind of a spear point with a kind of a beaten steel finish on it, kind of like that kind of rough look, and nice sharp edge, kind of almost a Scandi grind. I guess it is a Scandi grind, and a little rubbery sheath here with drain holes in it. Just a solid little knife for under 50 bucks, and I just liked it because I like the way it looks, I like the functionality of it, and it's just a very, very well done little blade. I like Joe Flowers designs usually anyway. Let's see. Number 7 is not under 50 bucks. Okay, number 7 is the second most expensive knife we're going to look at, and this one came in at $585 when it's not on sale. Now, you get on sale, but I'm talking about the Dynamus Neptune. This is a Dev Group Seal design. SEAL Team 6. I mean, they don't call it that, but us mortals can call it that. SEAL Team 6 design dive knife, designed by somebody who probably knows a little bit about diving and is still an active diver, I think, even after his retirement. And also, one of his specialties, one of his 3 occupational specialties was combatives. So not only is it a dive knife, but it's designed also to be used as an EDC knife. We'll call it that. I had this one in a bucket of salt water. I took a bunch of rock salt, dumped it in a bucket of water, suspended this in there on a string for 3 weeks. 0 rust, 0 anything, except for a little bit of salt whiteness maybe on it. But I took the handle scales off, no rust in there, nothing. And it comes with Dynamis, this kind of unifit sheath. This same sheath fits almost all their knives. And a nice little clip. This thing is, you can carry this daily, you can use it diving. Just a rock solid knife designed by somebody that knows knives. So that one again is $585, the Dynamus Neptune. Next is, we looked at the second most expensive. We're going to look at the least expensive of all so far, lowest cost. And this one is the Steel Kyoto. And there you go. You know I like me some Tantos, however you want to say it. This was a low version, Kyoto 1, low price version, and I think I got this on Midway USA for 25 bucks. It's got this Secure X sheath and no belt loop or anything. Use it for a neck knife. It's small enough to be used, in some kind of a kit or EDC or whatever, and it could still be a very effective little EDC knife. One thing I thought I'd point out in this video, since I had a comment like yesterday or a couple days ago about a different cold steel knife. I wanted to know if the sheath dulls the edge when you put it in like all the others, he said. And what they're talking about is these fiberglass reinforced nylon sheaths. It's like glass in there, so it's pretty tough stuff. And as you slide your knife in a lot, if it just rubs on that, it can dull it pretty quickly over time. So I don't know, this one probably does that, but what I always try to do in these sheaths, if I have time to think about it, and why wouldn't you, right, is I just make sure I push, when I put it in, I try to hold the spine side against the sheath until it goes in. So that minimizes that rubbing and it might have a little rock in there it could slightly touch. But that's not gonna be like rubbing the whole blade down. Just a little tip for you here. So anyway, that's called Steel Kyoto. $25 what I paid for it. So that was also not only the lowest price, that was the smallest knife we're looking at. Next one is going to be the largest knife we're looking at, and coming in at about $145 for this one. And I'm talking about the Condor Atrox or whatever you say it. The however Crocodile Dundee would say it's probably right. Just look at that thing, man. Micarta handles, two-tone micarta handles, full tang, big old honking blade, false edge back, sharp spine here. Man, it's a chopper, it's a whopper, it's a cutter, it's a slicer, it's a dicer, it's a Condor Atrox. Oh man. Anyway, and it's got a really nice sheath. So I couldn't, you just looking at this, you know this is one of my favorites, right? If you've seen very many of my videos. And nice snappity sheath. So that's the Condor Atrox. Next, finally, we're down to the top three, and honestly, these are probably tied for first. To be honest, I mean, it's kind of like who's your favorite kid. That's a choice. It's impossible to make, but I'm gonna try to at least be as fair as I can. So the next one, we'll call this number 8, is another not so cheap knife. Actually, none of these knives are really cheap, to be fair with you, but this is the most expensive of the 3. It's the another one from Dynamis. It's the Revere. And this is not a dive knife. This is a EDC knife, we'll say, designed by probably one of the most dangerous combatives people in the world. I mean, I'd say in the top very small percent, right? Because if you're in that dev group thing, you're probably not an amateur. So this one was designed by a guy named Don Rosso. It's made by Winkler Knives. If you're familiar with knives very much, you know the name Winkler Knives. They are trusted by special forces and special ops groups all over the world. Dom told me that he designed this handle by taking his kid's Play-Doh and just squeezing it until it felt right in his hand. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the most comfortable feeling handles I've ever had in my hand. I've got a video on this. I'm not going to go into details discussion about it, but as you can see, it is one of my favorite knives that we've looked at. And this one comes in at $5.55, three fives. To be fair, you can catch it on sale like I did, not pay quite that much money, but still not $50. Chuck Norris can do a wheelie on a unicycle. And number 9 is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in tan micarta and CPM crewware steel. This has become literally one of my favorite knives. I like this lock. I like the way that it keeps my fingers out of the way of the blade. I like that it opens up so smoothly, and I like that it is, by golly, razor stinking, hair splitting sharp, and very, very comfortable to use. So that's the, as a matter of fact, it's going back in my pocket now. That's the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and that's number 9. We're going to finish up with number 10. We're going to give this one the prime billing, although this is, like I said, the top 3 are right there together. But we're going to give it prime billing for a couple of reasons, and with one final bit of rambling before the video's over. So last year, around, I don't say, March, April, my friend Ryan from UltiClip contacted me and said they met a knife company at a blade show in Germany, a knife show in Germany, that they were really impressed with, and they kind of worked out, they're kind of doing a collab on the sheath, and they are going to, UltiClip, they're going to be the sole U.S. distributors for this knife company. So would I be interested in checking them out? So he sent me one, and I messed with it a little bit, but held on to it because I wanted to talk to the designer or the engineers that created it, because, yeah, I said engineers, because this thing has, I had some questions about the construction of this thing that I was, honestly, I had a little bit of doubt. I wanted to talk to them, find out what was so special about it, because they were talking about how absolutely different it was. So at Blade Show, I met those guys, and we talked about that on the video there. And this knife will end up winning the Blade Show Knife of the Year for 2025. I'm talking about the UltiClip. I'm talking about the UltiClip UG knives collaboration knife, the UG Tiny Pango drop point. And this is my favorite knife we're going to call this one number one for the year for a couple of reasons. First of them is because this knife was sent to me by Ryan at UltiClip, and he passed away a couple weeks after Blade Show, and man, it was a big shock to all of us. I'd actually had dinner with him just like 2 weeks before that, and just sudden heart attack. So you just never know. But and I guess in his honor, this can't not be number one. And the second reason is because it is a stinking good, amazing knife. They said they tested these things and went through development for literally 3 to 4 years before they brought them to market. So, because it was so radically different, and I think they got it right. Again, this knife is not cheap either. Their price on UltiClip's website is $395. I wouldn't hesitate to trust this knife. That's number 10. My throat seems to be going here. I don't know why, but could be all rambling. So, anyway, that's it. I really, really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. I hope you have a very happy New Year, and I hope you had a great Christmas. And remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.